We've got really strong winds going this direction and weaker winds coming back there, but that's a sign of really strong rotation showing up on the radar. Now, let me put a track on this because this is probably not going to stay in Chester County. It's moving pretty quickly, moving to the northeast right now at around, it looks like 35 miles per hour. So I'll put a track on this, and this is moving it further into the future. So you could see areas around Fort Long, Lancaster, maybe eventually up into western Union County. That's an area we're going to have to watch as well, potentially heading there. But that is a really strong signature of rotation on the radar. It's been spinning up for a while, and just in the last couple of frames, we saw it get a little bit stronger with time, and now the Weather Service has issued a tornado warning for parts of Chester County. Now remember, if you're in this area, we need you to get to the lowest level of your home, the most interior room possible, and get away from those outside walls and windows. If you have friends or family in that area, to that shelter right now. If you can call them or text them, let them know. We're after dinner time here. A lot of folks probably, just turning off the news, maybe they're just getting home from work, or they're not watching at all. So we need them to be weather aware right now, and we can use your help to get the word out of this tornado warning in Chester County. And I will go back in. You can see it's that small corner, but I'll be honest with you, if you're in Lancaster County as well, this is going to cross over the border and probably move into the western part of Lancaster County. That's actually comes from the Columbia Weather Service office, so don't be surprised if you see another warning issued for that area, especially towards Fort Lawn, Lancaster, eventually up towards maybe Indian Land eventually, if it keeps moving towards the panhandle there. I'm going to go back and forth between a couple radar signatures. So this is a look at the terminal Doppler radar, a little bit newer volume scan there. You can see it looks like it's just north of Great Falls now. So Great Falls, it's pretty much over you. The next area is going to be Fort Lawn, Grace, west side of Lancaster County, and then eventually this could move into western Union County, North Carolina. I'm going to do another track here. So I look at that. The movement is 40 miles per hour, so let me make sure I have the forward speed closer to 40. And remember, if you're watching me via stream or any other service, remember there's a little bit of a delay, so you need to be about 5 minutes earlier than these times to be on the safe side. So Fort Lawn, 6:48. So that means I want you in that safe spot around 6:43, if at all possible. Grace around 6:50. Basically towards Foster's Crossroads around 6:57, then closer to 7 o'clock as you get up towards maybe even Waxhaw, the western sections there of Union County into the Van Wyck area, and then eventually Indian Land and maybe even eastern parts of Fort Mill if this continues to move off in that general direction. It is moving northeast right now at about 40 miles per hour. Looking for spotter reports coming out of that area. It's right on 77, so don't be surprised, just east of 77 if we start getting some pictures in from there, because it is east of the interstate, but it would be visible from I-77 as it moves basically on the Catawba River is where it looks like from the Great Falls area. So it's got like a lot of cloud to ground lightning. I'm going to go back and forth to some of our other data here just to see if we've got any signs of debris in there. So what I'm looking at right here is our Doppler debris signature. So we're looking for lighter colors of red. Now off to the right, there's just nothing there really showing. I'm going to switch to the Columbia radar quickly because it might have a little better view. Nothing definitive in the Doppler dual pole data, so it doesn't look like there's debris being lofted by the storm right now. Doesn't mean it's not on the ground. Sometimes there's a little delay and that's showing up on the radar, but when you look at the velocity data, that is a really strong signature just north of Great Falls. And the best look at it has been our terminal Doppler radar. If I zoom in closely, that's right on the Catawba River, and honestly, it's crossed into Lancaster County. So I know technically Lancaster County is not in the warning. I want you to go ahead and seek shelter anyways in the western part of the county. We are going to continue to see this warning probably cross over the county line and get very close to Lancaster. Let me quickly show you the track again, because it's going to be really close to Lancaster. 6:54 is roughly the time. And again, remember where this is going. It's going to continue moving north and east, so that puts the panhandle of Lancaster and western Union County in the path of this storm. So potentially we could see that warning extended to other counties. I'm actually going to chat with the Weather Service to see if they're going to extend this into the other areas. don't see the Columbia office. I'm gonna message them real quickly, just because you guys are watching me. I'm telling you to seek shelter. I have no way to activate all the EAS alerts there in Lancaster County, so the Weather Service can. So hopefully they will issue that warning as well to help us out, because that will get the word out even more. It'll activate the wireless emergency alerts in that area. So the tornado was located just northeast of, possible tornado I should say, northeast of Great Falls, moving into the western part of Lancaster County. That is going to be moving pretty quickly as well, about 40 miles per hour. I'm going back and forth between our terminal Doppler radar as it crosses over into that area, and it's basically crossed over the river, it looks like. So where I'm looking at is Belltown right there on Highway 200 east of 21. So it looks like the circulation has crossed over and is moving into the western sections of Lancaster County right now. I'll go back and forth to the GSP radar as well. So it's right on that county line. And so you're starting to see it move towards the north and east pretty quickly into Lancaster County. So it's technically moving out of Chester County, even though the warning is for Chester. And that's why if you're in Lancaster County, I want you to go ahead and treat this like you're under the warning as well. I'm going to track the circulation here. We're just going to track the whole circulation, because I want everyone in the path of this to be ready. And I'm going to give you a heads up downstream of this. So that's moving up into parts of Union County, as well as maybe even, eventually, maybe, if it holds together, southern Mecklenburg County. So I'm going to walk over to the key wall real quickly here, and we'll kind of break this down on where it's heading. So there's the circulation. This is the Catawba River between Chester and Lancaster County. So the town of Lancaster, you're in the path of this, but Jars, Waxhaw, Weddington, Mineral Springs, Wesley Chapel, maybe and eventually up into Matthews area if it continues to move in that direction, if it holds together. But that's the direction it's going. Now, one thing we got to watch for is there's a low pressure system back to the west, and it's spinning counterclockwise. So what happens is this will actually rotate, and it could pivot back to the northwest. That could bring in this into more of eastern York County eventually. So we'll have to watch the movement of that if it starts to rotate that direction. But notice that Waxhaw, Mineral Springs, and Weddington are on our storm track, just because if it holds together, it would be up in that area closer to around 7:20 to 7:30 this evening. So that would be the area we would be worried about in about 20, I'd say 20 minutes, maybe about an hour from now if it holds together that long. Now the warning is only set to go until 7 o'clock, so we'll have to see if it continues to spin up. I'm looking, the circulation is not weakened at all, guys. And actually, look at the circulation. It's on Highway 200 right now. Let me go in real close. I'm going to pinpoint some of these roads. So we've got, it's like Demon Lane right there, heading up to the north. I'm going to zoom in even closer. That looks like Bethel Road. Then up towards Grace Avenue, heading north towards Highway 9, which crosses from, that's from Richburg, goes all the way to Lancaster, and then goes all the way to Chesterfield County. So the circulation, let me go in the middle of the screen here. I'll kind of show you. So the circulation is right here. That's where we're seeing it. And the circulation is that little area right there. It's showing up clearly on the terminal Doppler radar, which is the radar out of Mountain Island Lake. It's the closest radar, but even if I look at the radar out of Greer, I can see broad circulation there as well. If I look out of the radar, let's go all the way to the Columbia office, pull up their radar as well, and you can see that same circulation right in the middle of your screen. So again, it's north and east now of Great Falls, getting close to Fort Lawn and very close to the Lancaster area. So it looks like to me it's paralleling or very really close to the Catawba River as it moves. I'm going to loop this a couple times. We'll go back a couple frames, and you can actually see it rotating right there. Great Falls, probably right there, something touched down west of Great Falls, and it looks to me like it's moving northeast, just looking at the last hour loop, which is going to give you the best track of that. So I'm going to track that on that trajectory. And that to me really puts Union County, North Carolina in play. So you're not in a warning yet. Your phone's not going to go off, but I'm going to go ahead and give you a heads up there. Now it looks like, looking at the Weather Service, they're going to cancel the warning for Chester because it's crossed over the county line. But here's the problem. If it goes into Lancaster County, that becomes the National Weather Service office out of Columbia's jurisdiction, and they would have to issue a warning. So it's one of those things where if it goes out of Chester, it moves into Lancaster, then it would become another jurisdiction. Now, if it weakens, like it looks like it might be, they might just let it go. But I would just be on guard. So if you live in Lancaster County and Western Union County, they're likely going to let this expire or they're going to cancel it altogether. I would just go ahead and be on guard for the next hour or so. I'm going to do another track of this whole thing because I just don't like the looks of that as it moves north and east. So that's the storm track there. I'm going to put it right on the right side of the screen. So if you live in that area, you know, from basically Lancaster, Van Wyck, Waxhaw, Weddington, Providence, Wesley Chapel, Matthews area, just be on guard here. Keep your phone fully charged. Keep the app ready to go. Crank up the volume because we might see a quick warning. This is probably going to spin down as they cancel this. It might spin back up. I've seen that twice today with the 2 other tornado warnings we've had as I look at it. Now, the circulation, thankfully, does look like it's weakening, but it is approaching Lancaster right now as we speak. And it does look like the Weather Service is going to draw up a cancellation here in a second. So we're going to see a cancellation of the Chester just because it's actually moved out of Chester County. It is fully in Lancaster County, near Lancaster. So if you're in Lancaster, please stay in the middle of your house. Get away from those outside walls and windows for a while and stay there until this storm passes. Once it moves through, I think this will be our last real significant wave. As it pushes east, we should see things calm down a little bit. I'm not seeing any reports of damage in this area right now, which is a good thing. The fact that we're not seeing any damage reports come in from across the area. I'm checking with our spotters down there. It's a somewhat rural area, but potentially, and we would eventually see some reports come in here probably during the daylight hours. So I'm waiting to see if they're going to cancel this. It looks like the cancellation order is going to be coming up here shortly. So what we're going to do, we probably will return to programming already in progress, but what we're going to do is I'm going to stay on this, and if we get an additional warning out of this, we'll break back in. I'll keep an eye on this, and we might throw up the stream as well on WCNC.com. But again, there's the circulation. I'm going to wait and see for one more volume scan, guys. I don't want this thing to get popped back up and see them reissue it. There's a debate between the two offices, it looks like, maybe to see what they're going to do here. They are not going to continue the warning, I think, in Lancaster. So it looks like Columbia might let it drop. And if it moves completely out here in the next couple of minutes, they're probably going to let Chester County let it go. I'm waiting. That's what I'm hearing over here. No signs of that being reissued. Let me look at the radar. We'll just go with what the situation's showing us. The circulation is much weaker now, which is good news, right around Lancaster, which is good timing because that's moving into a much more populated area. There was a very weak rotation a frame or two ago. It's getting much broader like this, which means it's not as strong, and we're starting to see it weaken quite a bit as it moves to the north and east. We'll look at the GSP signature. Some strong winds still in there, so maybe not tornado, but we still got 45 to 50 mile an hour winds blowing out of the backside. That's the rear flank downdraft coming out of that storm, and it is pushing off to the north and east fairly quickly as I look at this. Let's go back to the radar here. So it looks like it's completely crossed out of Chester County. So it's in Lancaster County. They have just canceled the warning for Chester, so it should be coming off the screen here in a second. So what we're going to do, guys, we're going to go back to programming. I will keep a close eye on this if we see an additional warning, but I will tell you right now, in Lancaster and Western Union County, I would be on guard here for the next 30 minutes or so. I'm going to track the circulation because this is where it's going. It's heading north and east pretty quickly. And so areas that would be in the path of this storm, not that it's producing a tornado now, but it did have a rotation in it, would be Waxhaw, Mineral Springs, Weddington, Monroe, Providence, Indian Trail, Matthews, MB Bridge between now and 7:30. So I'll keep a close eye on this. Keep your phone charged. Be ready for the possibility that they could be additional warnings. We're probably not going to see one issued for Lancaster based on the trend and the rotation weakening, but that storm has weakened to the point where the tornado warning has been canceled. We're going to return to programming already in progress, and I'll keep an eye on this throughout the evening.